Hi guys, welcome back to Bohs Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match preview for tomorrow's game against SLIGO Rovers at Dalymount Park. Back in action after Monday night's fantastic Dublin Derby win and a really good performance in the game where we were just fantastic from start to finish, in and out possession. It was probably the best we played in years, and I don't think, I'm a bit exaggerating when I say that. Yeah, it was really good, and it's all about backing it up now in this game against the Sligo side, who will be buoyed by their win against Galway United in the Connacht Derby there on Monday night. I think they've won 2 from 3 now. They've given themselves a bit of hope that maybe they can avoid finishing bottom of the league and maybe occupy that playoff spot come the end of the season, stay up through that. And they have got some decent players that can cause us problems. Owen Elding and Hikiki, and John Matten will be a bit of a loss for them. He was suspended from his red card there on Monday. So yeah, was another maybe bit of a worry is that when you put in such a strong performance like we did on Monday, will you be a bit burnt out maybe? We have a few injuries, but look, I'm not worried about that at all really. I think the players will have only took confidence from Monday, and I would be looking to carry that on here and keep our title hopes alive. I don't think you can make any cases for any changes unless there's any knocks that we don't know of. I think we were fantastic in every department really, the defence, the midfield, the going forward, we were just brilliant. Even the players that haven't played in a good while, Liam Smith, John Milton, they were thrown into a big game, and they didn't put a foot wrong at all. They were both absolutely excellent, and they've definitely made a case for themselves to keep their places. Yeah, like we said in the reaction, there wasn't really one standout player, from that game on Monday. Everybody was brilliant, and we're gonna have to see another performance like that again tomorrow if we want to get another win. So yeah, I'd be keeping the same 11 from Monday, unless there's any knocks that we don't know of. In terms of the game overall, I think if you can just put in half as good of a performance as we did on Monday, I think we should have no problem here. Sligo, their squad is quite thin. They're missing one of their key defenders and John Matten through suspension. They do have a couple of tidy players like we said, but we really should be looking to come into this game and take control. We've been very good at home in recent weeks. We picked up some great wins at home, and we spoke about how could the players possibly be burnt out for Monday, but I don't think that at all. I think we've shown numerous times this season how good our fitness levels are. We only made one sub in the whole game on Monday, and not one player looked tired towards the end. They looked like they could have played for another 90 minutes if they wanted to. They were all that fit, and I expect to see that again. You don't want to let that result on Monday go to waste. You don't want to come into this game now and be complacent, just think that we're playing a side who are struggling there, the bottom of the table. This will be an easy game. I don't think this side are like that though. I don't think they have that kind of attitude. I think they realise that every game is going to be a challenge, and that they're willing to step up, and I think we will do that if we can perform anything like we did on Monday. If we can keep the organisation at the back, that back four, that was sometimes a back three. If we can keep that shape and solidity, you'd expect to keep another clean sheet, hopefully. If we can play the kind of football that we did, you'd expect that we could create a few more chances and score more goals. So I'm going to go with a fairly routine 2-0 win. It could be tight. You never know with these sort of games in the league. It can go either way, but I think you'd be silly to bet against us after such a great performance, a great win on Monday. The players will be full of confidence. We're at home again. Expect another big, strong performance. So yeah, look, if we can do that, that'd be great. Obviously, we keep our title hopes alive, and hopefully Dalymount will be rocking again. It was brilliant there on Monday, and like it has been, for the whole season. We're even starting to see a great atmosphere at Des Kelly as well. So look, hopefully that'll stay the same, and hopefully the whole ground will be bouncing again tomorrow. So yeah, that's where I'll end it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below everything at the end of the game, or score predictions, and I'll see you for the reaction the day after. Bye bye.